no running anywhere because you're listening to a podcast. You could just sit there, listen, you know. I hope you don't have to run for your phone. This podcast you're listening to is How Do We Human? It's the podcast where we overanalyze all the weird and uncomfortable micro moments in life. I'm one of your hosts, Evan Cox.
I'm one of your hosts, Chris Binning.
And hey, today we're talking pools. We're talking gene pools. We're talking
car pools.
Car pools. I'm glad you had one because I started a list.
Betting pools.
Betting pools. Pool cues.
Oh, that's a good one.
Seems like a good place to end.
Yeah.
Mostly we're talking about swimming pools.
I can't think of anybody with the last name Pool. Is Tim Pool a
I
person?
was just going to say, is Tim Pool a person? I think Tim Pool. Who's Tim Pool? This feels important.
Tim Pool?
Tim Pool.
And while you look for that, I am curious. You know, you said, "Hey, no running," because this is a podcast.
Yeah.
Do people work out while listening to podcasts?
I'll work out.
Does that does that seem like a thing that would happen?
I've done it, and it's a bad idea if you are like me and exclusively listen to comedy podcasts. I almost injured myself. I forget what I was just working on one of those machines and started like dying laughing at some bullshit. It's like, oh no, I'm going to crush myself. Tim Pool is a YouTuber and journalist, and he looks like a douchebag.
All right, now I've got to look it up. Oh, yeah.
Became known for live streaming the 2011 Occupy Wall Street protests. And now he's a member of Vice Media. He looks like Vice Media as a person.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe him.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of his most recent YouTube videos look like things I would press the dislike button on.
Yeah. And Tim Pool. But before we get into that, Chris,
Yes.
how you doing?
Sorry, I was just looking for other people with the last name Pool so that we could recover. But he is apparently the most famous Pool. Anyway, I'm doing fine.
According to the internet, the most famous pool is the Marina Bay Sands Infinity Pool. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations.
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Recently I had to get gasoline, fill up the old tank with that expensive petroleum.
You know it.
And so after work, there's a gas station right before I get on the freeway. Perfect. That's so convenient. So I pull over there at whatever it was, 10:45 at night. And there are quite a few people over there. There's on the one side there's like a truck that's towing like a little trailer with like a jet ski on it.
Yeah.
So they're taking up both of those pumps on that side. I go to the opposite side and am pulled up alongside or on the opposite side of the jet ski. And I turn off my car. I unplug my phone from the aux cord so that Spotify doesn't keep playing music while I'm out of the vehicle. And I miss my favorite songs.
Can't have that happen.
And then I go to unbuckle my seatbelt, and the people that have the truck with the jet ski have they've gone around to my pump, and they're just pressing buttons.
What?
They're just like monkeys in 2001 or whatever. They're just slapping buttons on the thing, not even on their side. Like they walked around to mine and they're pressing the buttons and so I never got out of the car, and I had to hope I had enough gas to make it to a different station because I was not about to get out of the car and
what you
Shoo
doing?
these people off. Like, get out of
Go
here.
away.
Go
Go
away.
away.
This is mine.
That, in my mind, is the only way you could have talked to them.
Yeah.
Go away.
Go away.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I know.
I'll
Me
just go
neither.
around pushing other people's buttons.
Yeah. Don't push my
Don't
buttons.
you don't want to see me when my buttons get pushed.
Yeah. That was one of the early Hulk catchphrase drafts.
Oh.
You don't want
Don't-
to see me when my buttons get pushed.
Don't push the Hulk's buttons.
No.
He's only got the one left on his pants.
I know, and very precarious.
Don't push it.
Don't push it. Evan, how are you doing?
I'm all right. It's been a fucking day. But we haven't talked in a while.
Quite
Because
some time.
I took a trip. We bulk recorded those last few episodes, and I drove back to Washington to see the old family and some friends. And my girlfriend came with me. Both our dogs joined us. It was a blast. Yeah, speaking of gas, I solidly spent, I think, $400 in gas just on the way there.
Just the one way.
Well, that might have been the hotel. I still have to go back and check, because yeah, my girlfriend and I were splitting it. We're like, oh, we don't want one of us paying too much. But yeah, and it's way cheaper out there than in LA. There were some spots like under $5. I was like, whoa, hello. Other places not so much. Anyways, at the end of the trip, I think the last day before we left, we went to Seattle, because the majority of the trip we had the dogs. The whole time we stuck around the general area so we could take care of our dogs. And then the last day we're like, let's do a thing. We visited her friends in Tacoma, and we went to Seattle to have dinner with my friends. And I got there's this great Mexican restaurant on Capitol Hill called Fogon, and I love it so much. And so we were all going to meet there. I put in we got there first, and I put in the little reservation, not reservation, but you know what I mean. Held our place in line, and they gave me a little, I gave them my number, and they were like, we'll text you when it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend Chris, my other friend Chris, Seattle Chris, was one of the people who was going to join. Now, on this group text thread, he had texted, as we were still driving there, he had texted something along the lines of like, I'm bored. Because they were like, when are you going to be there? I'm like, around, I think it was like 7:45. And he texted, well, I'm bored, so I'm going to go there early. And no one responded to that. So when we got there, no one else was there. I looked to the bar. There's Chris. And that is normal Chris behavior. He showed up early. He went to the bar by himself to have a little sip before we all meet up. So I go over to him. I haven't seen this guy in a while. I love this guy. So I go up to him. I put my arm around him, and I go, hey. And he ignores me and I'm like, oh, this fucking guy, he always does shit like this. So I'm like, how's it going? Did you already put in for, the wait for a table? And he points at his phone. And I'm like, I don't get this joke.
Oh, no.
And then I looked at him closer. I had no idea who it was. And I still had my arm around him. And so I went, oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. And I turned around and left. And then Chris showed up. I was like, fuck you. You made it sound like you'd be here earlier. And I made everyone else go in so that they could see that from a distance, I wasn't crazy. From a distance, it looked exactly like my friend Chris.
From a distance.
He did not speak English, which is why he was pointing to his phone to get across like, I'm good, man. Whatever the fuck you want. I'm watching a soccer game on my phone. It was so fucking embarrassing. So that went well. That was a fun part of the trip.
Yeah, I do like that from a distance, he may have looked like your friend, but in order to get to him where you could put your arm around him, you had to be closer than from a
Oh yeah,
distance.
but
And we're
this is my
still just
thing.
locked in of like, there's no way this could be somebody else.
This is my thing, and I feel like I mainly do a small group of my friends. I'll do this because I'm always the one that's the out of towner. Everyone else is still in Washington, so me showing up, even if they're expecting me, always feels like ta-da!
Sure, yeah.
I'm here, and so I like to surprise people by just like sneaking up on them like that, and not being like, "Hey, Chris." And just like sneak up on them, put my arm around them, and act like I'm a weird stranger. And this time I
Yeah.
was.
This time you were.
Because then they turn and they're like, hey. I like scaring people and making them think they're about to have a shitty encounter with a stranger.
And was your girlfriend here for this? Was she able to witness the exchange?
She was back standing in line to reserve the table, so no. I was the only person, me and him. We were the only ones that know what happened. Experience the full-on awkwardness. Don't recommend it. Don't put your
Yeah.
arms around strangers.
That's what Dr. Fauci says.
Is that what he says?
Actually, he says just everybody fucking do whatever you want
Except
and die.
pools.
Except pools.
Nah, I don't know why. Except pools. Maybe he says, go to the pool. It's fun. It's wet.
Dr. Fauci says it's swimsuit season.
I wish he had
Fauci
a blog.
Says, yeah.
Like he turned because he got used to the attention from posting via the CDC and making his comments and people caring, and now he just has like a travel and fashion blog.
Yeah,
like, this is my dog.
This is my dog.
This is my dog.
This is my dog.
This is how I dress my dog up. He's having a good time. I am Dr. Fauci. This is what I sound like. Don't worry about it.
Going to be hot girl summer. So hit the beaches, hit the pools.
Pokemon Go everywhere.
Oh, he's the one that wrote that joke for Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, not credited.
Not
Someone
Ghost Rider.
Deserved credit. I like to imagine that was some like intern. I was like, no, trust me. This will be great.
Trust me, this is gonna crush.
Oh no. You like a good swimming pool?
I do like a good swimming pool. I wish that I had one.
You an innie or an outie?
An outie is what I prefer. The innie swimming pool, is often much grosser to me. I think just because of that like chlorine musk just hangs there, and like the air gets thick.
Yeah, but the chlorine kills stuff, so it's the same way as like when I go to a hotel and I love that it smells like bleach. I'm like, this makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Outdoor pool. I'm just afraid of that sun. That sun. I don't like it. It's bad news bears.
Yeah.
On this recent trip, I swam in a pool.
Hey.
It was at the hotel. It was an outdoor pool. And I had an awkward little micro moment.
Was it you were getting out of the pool and the song from Fast Times at Ridgemont High started playing?
Would you know it? That's how I got out of the pool in my mind.
Yeah.
And in my I didn't say it to anybody and no one was watching me, but in my mind it was funny. Got up, kind of whipped my hair around.
Yeah.
You know. What that was just for me being sexy for myself.
Oh, that's the best kind.
I know. Speaking of, actually, real quick, on the way we had just a random playlist going and a song came on that was called Sex Weekend. And the chorus was like, "It's a sex weekend by myself." And I was like, huh? And looked it up. Can't find that song anywhere. Couldn't find it in the playlist. It doesn't seem to
Oh,
exist. I
haunted.
can't find it via lyric searches. So if anyone knows the song Sex Weekend, let me know. I'm not crazy. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I'm here to say is I went to the pool. I am the type of person that kind of maxes out at an hour in the pool. I don't like being pruny. I got to get the fuck out of there. It was a hot ass day. It was a nice, cool pool. But by the time it was night, started cooling down. I'm like, I would love to go take a dip in that hot tub. There were two
Yeah.
little kids fucking around and
Mhm.
jumping from the pool, going to the hot tub, jump from the pool, go to the hot tub. One of the kids was named Evan. It doesn't
Hey,
have anything to do with it, except it just added an air of mystery.
you saw your younger self.
I saw my younger self, and I used to love doing that when I was a kid. It was very fun to get all warm in the hot tub and then jump in the pool, and then vice
Yeah.
versa. But as a grown ass man,
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely cannot go by myself over to the hot tub where the little kids are going back and forth. This feels like a bad look for me. So I
Yeah.
waited. I waited and I waited. And
W
eventually.
A I T or WADE?
Oh, I thought you were going WEIGHT. I started lifting weights nearby.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
No, yeah, I waited ever closer. At a certain point, they both got in the pool and they seemed like they were there playing. So I did it. I got up, sexy like what's her name, Phoebe Cates,
Phoebe Cates.
and I got in that hot tub, and it felt awesome. And I was just sitting there by myself, and I was sitting there for maybe 20 minutes,
Okay.
really just enjoying myself. My girlfriend came in for a sec. She didn't care for it. She went back to the pool, and the little kids never came back, and no one wanted to join me. And so I got up eventually, dried off, and was just like sitting next to the pool while my girlfriend continued swimming. And as soon as I got out of the hot tub, a swarm of young children went and got in the hot tub to play around in it. They were waiting for me to leave. They'd been instructed on stranger danger,
That's good.
and they knew that I was a stranger. Unlike me when I put my arm around that guy.
Right. Yeah,
I
they
am.
heard the stories from the restaurant and they're like, this is the danger. Much like Walter White. This is the danger.
This is the danger. I am Billy Joel's The Stranger. So yeah, I found as an adult that being alone in a pool as a man is creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't like it. And that's not fair.
Yeah.
Men's
I
rights.
yeah. I don't remember the last time I was in a swimming pool.
Ooh.
My girlfriend and I are planning to go this weekend to Raging Waters water park here
Fun.
in Southern California. But prior to that, I'm not sure the last time I was in a pool. I was in a hot tub in January when she and I went to San Diego. Our hotel did have a hot tub, and so we were
Hell
in the
yeah.
hot tub for a little bit. It was pretty nice.
Love that.
I love the bubbles. I
I
love the
love the bubbles.
jets.
Yeah. I love
Not the
Benny.
sharks, but yeah. Oh yeah. Different references.
Benny and the Jets, parentheses, and the Sharks.
And the sharks.
uh, Two things I want to talk about. Yeah. Pools close. That's just a damn shame,
Yes.
but a truth. At this hotel,
When God closes a pool, he opens another.
it opens a hot tub.
He opens a hot tub.
Like I said, I was done swimming, but my girlfriend was not, and she decided she wanted to. We'd already been told the pool closes at 10, I think it was. and I'm Mr. Little Anxious Boy.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, it's like
It's
9:45, probably.
9:15. It's gonna be closing pretty soon.
Essentially, that was me. Like, you still going? Okay, we can hang out. Not saying I was complaining, but I was getting a little anxious of like, we're button up. Other people are leaving,
Yes.
and this nice. I keep wanting to say nice couple. It was a mother and son, but I don't know how to refer to that other than mother and son. But they're a couple. They were chatting with us, and we're super friendly, so that kind of kept it going longer and longer. And I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, I'm giving updates like it's 9:55, just so you guys know, in case you're also worried about someone getting mad at you. And my girlfriend's just kind of going like, we're good. Like, I'll wait till they kick me out. I'm like so happy in this pool. I'm gonna wait until they kick me out. And I'm like, okay, cool.
See you in the hotel room.
I'm cool. And it was like, that did make me anxious. But then when the time came, it was like 10:05, and someone just walked past and was like, hey, so we're starting to clean up, we're gonna need you to leave. And everyone went, okay, and it was fine. I'm like, that why is that never where my mind leaps? Other people
Yeah.
clearly do. My girlfriend did. She's like,
Right.
literally nobody's gonna give a shit. It's not a big deal.
You and I have the thought that person's gonna come into the pool area and be like, what are you doing? We told you we close at 10.
Don't think you're getting back in your room. We've locked it.
Next time you'll learn to read the signs.
I think there is like an element of it that it's me relating to being a kid in a pool and lifeguards yelling at me. Because I always hated that feeling. It was the getting caught doing something you weren't supposed to do. But I never knew I wasn't supposed to do it. I'm running. I'm diving. Roughhousing. These are the things you do in a pool when you're a kid. So you just get yelled at the whole time. I don't know. I hated that feeling. Were you not a little pool roughhouser as a child?
Definitely not roughhousing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure that I'm sure I got yelled at for like don't run around the pool.
Yeah.
But it only happened maybe once or twice. Because then my fear, instead of being afraid of being yelled at by the lifeguard, my fear is like, oh yes, because either my feet or the ground is going to be wet and slippery, and I could fall and injure myself. So that's
Totally.
more of what the fear was.
Okay.
And maybe I dived too, but I was not skilled enough of a diver for it to be dangerous, I think. So
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got in trouble for that.
Yeah. I could do a cannonball.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it when that happens.
Yeah. Or the jackknife.
How's that one work? Is that where
That
you
one
curl up and then...
I think it's one leg is curled up and the other one is straight out, I believe. I could belly flop too, unfortunately. I unfortunately did that quite often.
Yeah, that feels great. It's a real good time. Speaking of the running around and the dying,
Yeah.
that was everything water related. I think I'm putting this together. Everything water related was a danger in my family.
Okay.
Anything close to related to water. And I don't think that's just my family. I think that's parenting 101. Don't let your kid drown.
Yeah, and it feels like, especially like as we were growing up, even though there is some distance or some years between us,
that general
it seemed like the major thing that constantly was coming up on the news and like PSAs and stuff was like, your kids can and will drown if you turn around for a second.
And what I was going to say is where I think that comes from is that did happen to me when I was a kid.
You drowned?
Uh, Nearly. Yeah, my mom tells a story of like just hanging out at the pool with her friend, and I was like a toddler, and I was just like sitting there by the pool, and she turned her head, and then she turned her head back around, and my feet were just bobbing up under the pool.
Oh no.
And that will, I assume as a parent that'll stick with you.
Yeah, I think
And you
so.
let that kid know, just don't move. Don't
Right.
move near water. But looked at diving boards. I'm like, that's so cool. And they were so rare in a pool, in my life at least. It was not common that pools had diving boards. And whenever we had one at a pool we were going to, I was like, I've got to do this. It looks like it makes such a cool noise. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanna, but I just kept being told, like you can do it. Just know you might break your neck. They're
Mm-hmm.
slippery, and if you slip on that dive, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Which really took a lot of the fun out of my idea of how much fun diving would be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's the diving boards in like residential swimming pools that are like, barely above the water. But then there are the
Ah.
high diving ones at
Mhm.
like public pools and stuff.
Yeah.
Um
That scares the shit out of me. I would not do that,
I've
but
done it, and it definitely freaks me out, cuz it's
yeah.
also like those are used for like diving,
Yeah.
But I don't want to do that. I just
No.
want to jump and flail
Wow.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, flying squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. Um but yeah, I always found the ones that are just above the water to be very underwhelming for what I wanted to
Yeah.
get out of them, like I felt like I can just jump from the side of the pool. Um but
Those
those
are
high
fun.
ones are a different beast.
Yeah. That scares me. I always would imagine if I did that I would like go past the pool, just
Yeah.
land on the ground. I did have the memory related to water fears at the time that even I don't know if they still do, but even 5 gallon buckets, plastic buckets
Mhm.
would have a picture of a toddler drowning on the side, like a
Oh,
big
interesting.
picture of a
I
toddler upside down drowning in a bucket.
I don't recall that, but
Um,
that's bad.
it's effective. It
Yeah, for
made
sure.
me not swim in buckets. That's for sure.
Going
Uh,
back real quick to jumping into the water.
yes.
Something that you see a lot in movies and TV shows and videos of people that you just kind of know make a lot of questionable decisions. I'm talking about
Sure.
jumping off the roof of a
Oh
building
God.
into the pool. Is that ever something that you've done or wanted to do?
A little bit of both. I'll
Okay.
say I mentioned before my youthful friend group jackass tendencies, because that was around that time when I was in middle school when Jackass was on TV
Mhm.
and everybody wanted to be jackasses. So there was a little bit of that. There was a lot of jumping off of roofs. I did not partake. I was the coward of the group, but I still had
Yeah.
that drive and like wanted to do stuff. The one thing we did do that I also did was we had a swing set. I would jump off the swing into the pool,
Okay.
and I did that. Was that or was it me? This is one of those memories where you stop and go, "Was that me or was that someone else?" I think it was me because I remember, like many of my stories from that time, really, really trying hard to look like it didn't hurt that bad.
Yeah.
But I swung and jumped into the pool. I like kept trying but couldn't make it. but it was as we were filling the pool, and it didn't occur to me that the pool wasn't nearly filled yet. So I did this big swing jump and just landed on rocks, essentially. It really fucking hurt. Or it really hurt someone else.
Yeah, one of
and
those
I
two
empathized hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, that's funny. I'm gonna have to ask people. I think I was with my sisters and my neighbor. They might remember. It was probably someone else.
Yeah, I've never wanted to do that, but also like I didn't um like our neighborhood, all the roofs were like slanted. They weren't
Oh yeah.
There wasn't really a flat part you could jump off of.
No.
The other thing I've seen, I never have this is like something you'll see on like YouTube or TikTok
Yeah.
videos, I think, where people try to run and jump and clear the pool and land on the other side, but they always land like
Ooh,
balls
yeah.
first onto the edge.
Yeah. That's the heaviest part of your body.
I can't imagine wanting to do that.
No. That's
I mean, I'm sure they're drunk or something, but like, why would you ever do that?
yeah, that weird...
The risk is not worth the reward.
That seemed to be the natural evolution of the jackassery, because the jackassery, the intention is I'm gonna get hurt, or it's just gonna look like I got hurt, or whatever.
Yeah.
And that slowly turned into stunts, and just kids being like, yeah, I am Evil Knievel. I could do something crazy. And that is kind of beyond me. Like I said, I was always the coward, even in my skateboarding years. I never wanted to get hurt. I was very slow moving, conscious of where I was going and what was about to happen to my body physically in gravity. And yeah, so I had no interest in jumping over a pool. No, that's just gonna hurt. Who am I trying to impress? Goyles?
What was your favorite thing to do in a pool?
Well, let me tell you. Whenever we were kids, we had it was called the health club. It was like a gym in town that had a pool that was kid friendly and then stopped being kid friendly. And I think my family was a part of that decision. Because adults would go there to swim and get exercise because it was a gym, but there would always be kids fucking around, and they were like, no more, kids not allowed. And that was where I learned how to swim. But I'll tell that as a side. But one thing I loved, you know what, as a kid, this didn't happen super often, but always still now, like if I did it to another kid, I'm like, this is as fun as you can have in a pool. This is number one on the list, is an adult putting you on their shoulders and launching you up into the air.
Oh, yeah.
And crashing you into the pool. That is so fucking fun. And no one's done it to me in a long time. But yeah, that was number one. And then my sisters and I would play a game where you would not dive, but you'd be in the pool and you go underwater. It's kind of like telephone, and you yell something underwater to the person, which comes out as a bubbly, garbly mess. And you come up and try to say what the person was trying to say. You know what I mean?
That sounds fun.
Hey, it was a good time. What you up to in pools?
I like to submerge myself under the water and be up against the edge of the pool and like kind of cling to it like I'm Spider-Man.
That's fun. I don't think I've ever done that. Now I feel like I missed out.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I don't want to interrupt. I was just gonna say I also would submerge myself, and then I like just going all the way under and then just kind of letting go, and your body floats up, but then it looks like a dead body. Yeah, and I was very self-conscious of that. Like, I don't want to freak anybody out. I'm fine.
Yeah, again, yeah.
But this is very this is very relaxing to me, I think. something very relaxing about being underwater. You can't hear
Yes.
as much. It's quiet. It's just kind of dark.
Yeah,
It
I agree.
slowly starts to get darker, and then you lose consciousness. It's
Yeah.
so relaxing.
Yeah, you watch the last little bubble of air drift up
Yeah,
to the surface.
all of the Last Jedi goes through your mind.
Yeah. Um Simon and Garfunkel plays.
Yeah,
It's very relaxing.
it's the sound of swimming.
Hello, water, my old friend.
I've come to
I've come
splash
to
in you
swim in
again.
you again. You briefly mentioned water games with
You can say
your version
Watergate.
of yeah, you briefly mentioned Watergate, right? I'd like to talk about it. I have some thoughts. Um no, but something that my dad and brother and I would play like water basketball. We had a little hoop
Ooh,
set up near
fun.
the edge. Play some
Love
basketball.
that.
Um, there were other like pool toys.
Yeah.
Like the pool noodles. Love a good noodle.
Gotta love a noodle.
Um, I we used to, of course, as many children did, and this is one of those things that like was so fun as a child that now you're like a little horrified that you did. Now that you're an adult and you realize that it's probably pretty gross. Um, but where you blow in one end of the noodle to shoot water out the other
Yeah. Oh,
end.
I love that.
That's a great
So
time,
fun.
but
Uh,
a little gross.
yeah, in retrospect. I mean, in
Yeah,
retrospect, pools are pretty gross.
yeah.
uh, I got I got some feedback as a kid, and I've
Okay.
never let it go. And I think I swim less because of it.
You got feedback or you got a feed bag?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
um, as I learned how to swim there and would swim, just a an overhand stroke, whatever the huge is called. And apparently, I was just the splashiest little fucker. Like, I was not graceful. I couldn't just, ease the arm in, fingers first, like you're kind of supposed to. I was just full arms, full legs, just splash, 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 splash. And apparently, everyone was out there laughing at me every time I would swim when I was a kid.
Oh
And I don't
no.
appreciate that. What you laughing at me for? I'm a
Yeah.
little boy.
When I was a little boy, I was on like our, you know, community like swim team.
Damn.
Um and I don't remember why, cuz I wasn't bad, but I wasn't like good at it, you know?
Sure.
Um uh but this is going to segue into the topic of swimsuits, because when
Ooh.
we were on that swim team, we were all wearing identical Lil Speedos.
Gotta do
And even as a
it.
kid, I was like, I don't like this.
This is weird.
This is weird.
It is. It's a weird thing. The pool's a weird place in that sense. Yeah, as a kid, you're showing a lot of skin. As you get a little older, when you're a boy, you get the swim trunks and it's got the netting in there. You're not supposed to wear underwear with your swim trunks, so you feel
Right.
a little bare. And
Yeah,
you're,
and I
at least with me at the health club, I'm also similar to the gyms I've talked about in the past, going into that locker room to get changed. And if you
mhm.
think that wasn't the first time I saw an old man's balls, you would have lost that bet.
Well, I know the listeners were really trying to, they were arguing in our
When
in our
was it?
Patreon Discord.
Uh-huh.
When was the first time Evan saw an old man's balls?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. I'll never forget those gray pubes
Ugh.
everywhere.
That's I don't think that's the grossest thing that's ever been said on this podcast, but it's got to be top 10.
I'd love to make the list. So far, I think all the rest have been you.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I forget what they are, but we could probably leave them be.
I know what number 1 is, but I'm not going to say
All
it.
right. Send us
The
an email if you
netting
remember.
on swim trunks is very upsetting to me, and I don't know if it always was, but it was. I feel for the little fishes in the sea when I see when I see them getting scooped up out of the ocean in the big net. I'm like, I've been there.
Been there, bro.
Been there, bro.
It's uncomfortable.
It is.
It's just weird. I don't know. It's maybe a little too much freedom. On that note, I guess I can say, unless I'm forgetting something, I've definitely never been skinny dipping. But I don't.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't think that's for me. But maybe it is. Who knows? I'll give it a shot.
Because the next episode, Chris and Evan go skinny dipping.
I mean, it's worth a try. We're gonna run out of topics at some point. Chris and Evan rob a bank.
Yeah,
it was so
no,
awkward.
Officer, it's for a podcast.
Yeah, it's comedy. It's satire. Sure.
Yeah,
might be.
It's satire. Although I haven't been in a pool in a while, I was recently in a swimsuit. Because I was on a boat and took a little dip in a lake.
All right.
Another thing that makes me uncomfortable though about swimsuits, because I had to get back into the boat, and the boat's ladder is not very long. You've got to have a lot of upper body strength or enough flexibility to get your legs up there to help kind of pull you up.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. The other option would be to ask for help, I guess, but I wasn't going to do that.
Nope, not in this day and age. I don't know what I was about. I was about to scream something, and I didn't know what it was. Not at this pool party. I don't know. Something along those, but I had nowhere to go.
So I swung my legs up to that ladder.
Yeah.
And then, had my hands up on the side and then had to really swing myself up.
Yeah.
But as you're doing that, a bunch of the water rushes into the leg holes, adding more weight.
Uh-huh.
And then when you get up,
and
all that water rushes out of your swim trunks, then it's quite tight around the bod.
Sure, yeah.
And leaves little to the imagination if you don't fix that quick.
Yeah.
The other thing is when you're sitting like on the steps of a swimming pool and water gets or air gets trapped into your swim trunks and creates a big old bulge.
Yep.
These are the genital related swim trunks things that I'd really love to talk about.
I always loved you get down in there or in the hot tub and it just makes the big bubbles in your swim trunks, and you push them down and big old bubbles come out.
I love the feeling of pushing them down so the big bubbles come out.
I mean, I found at that swimming trip that my girlfriend was not aware of the netting in men's underwear or men's swim trunks. So I'm like, hey, maybe this is
in men's underwear.
In men's,
we wear fish nets.
Yeah, maybe I'll just I'm gonna make netted underwear. See if there's a market for it.
Watch out, Me Undies.
Yes.
New underwear team making the podcast rounds.
Yes. We undies. Under the sea undies?
Under the sea undies.
Or just sea undies. I did. I was just saying that, hey, those not wearing the men's swim trunks. This is all the shit we're thinking about when we're swimming.
Yeah.
Can everybody see my balls? Is this bubbles in my swim trunks awkward or funny? would
Right.
would this group of people like it if I made big bubbles come out of my legs? Or should I be more discreet? A surprise I ran into at that pool, which I was not expecting because this was never really a big deal for me when I was a kid. And I mentioned this to my girlfriend, and she was like, huh? I found myself, I didn't go in the 8 foot, the 8 feet was the deep end. I didn't go. I was scared.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, and it's like I'm in the like more like 5-6 foot area, and it's like I'm swimming. I know how to swim. I can keep myself afloat, but I just
Yeah.
kept seeing myself just drowning. I don't know.
Yeah.
Freaked me out as an adult for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah, new fears.
Yeah, I do like to be in the deep end. Watch as I dive in.
Correct.
But when I jumped off the boat to get into the lake, um, suddenly I also had a fear of like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm not near an edge, or that there's not steps nearby,
Yeah.
and there's a current in the lake too, which uh, I was surprised at how out of breath I was immediately.
It's a lot of
Like,
work.
I gotta get back in this boat.
Yeah, swimming is exhausting.
Yeah.
And it's that's the perfect way to put that feeling, is like as soon as you're like you're away from an edge. Even if I'm
Yeah.
swimming fine, I just now kind of get a little panic of like, oh, this better keep going well.
Yeah.
Or else I'm fucked. I don't know. But I like it. I like swimming. I'm just afraid of the 8 foot section, apparently.
Yeah, I don't blame you. We'll have to see if I can get into a pool sometime soon.
Yeah.
If I experience that fear as well. I don't know if this happened to you in Washington ever, but in Arizona, we had a pool in our backyard. Um, but sometimes it just even gets too hot to even like want to go in the pool. You
Totally.
know, it's like that's not going to be as refreshing as I want it to be. I will say though, I've got little things that I want to add on to things that we've talked about already.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna shout out another pool toy. I don't know if you had any pool torpedoes, but those
what's
were
that?
the best. They're just
What's it do?
little torpedoes. You throw them underwater and they like glide like a torpedo. You know, sometimes
That
you
sounds so
you
fun.
throw it, then you race it to the other end of the pool or whatever.
like
It's
that.
a good time.
No, never had them.
Oh, you gotta get one.
I love like the little squishy footballs, like throw a football in the pool and dive to try to catch it. That's always a good time.
I like a raft that you kind of let drift out over there, and then you try to jump and land on the raft without capsizing.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I don't think I ever did that either.
You've been missing out.
I know. I told you I'm boring. I'm overly self-conscious about like I'm gonna die out here.
You mentioned or I should say you shouted the words pool party.
Pool party.
And that was probably the most common type of party that I ever experienced growing up.
That's like, to
parties.
me, as a person that grew up where it's like my neighbor down the road had a outdoor pool, like an above ground pool, and we would go over and swim. I don't know why I was coming up with a different word. We would go swim, and that was fun, but it was never like we're having a party. And pool parties weren't really a thing. I remember there being one I wasn't invited to, and that's it. It's just the rich kid down the road that had a pool. But yeah, in Arizona, in my mind, it's like you lived the like on TV. Like you're in
Uh-huh.
the OC now.
Yeah.
Arizona, here we go. In my mind,
Yeah.
that is you now.
Yeah. Almost everybody that I was friends with had a pool.
Awesome. I mean, you got it. It's so fucking hot.
And then on top of that, we had a pool, and then like 10-minute walk away, maybe even less than that, there was like a community park with a pool that all the
Damn,
residents had like a key to get into.
that's awesome.
So there was no shortage of like birthday parties that are just like, come swim at my house, or like a lot of summer like, well, let's all hang out at the community pool, like
Hell
a lot
yeah.
of pool related gatherings.
Well, it's such a fun thing you can do as anybody, but particularly as a kid or a teenager, where it's like you don't have to plan anything else. Like that's it.
Right.
We're just gonna go get
Yeah.
wet.
We're just gonna go get friggin' wet.
We're gonna freaking wet, and we're gonna tell people about it.
There were there's always in the community pool, more so than one at a house, there is always the concern that somebody gross is in the water or has been in the water as well. I'm mostly talking band-aids, I think, would be the most common thing
Ew.
that you'd get floating around in the pool.
Yeah, that's always a day ruiner.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that's a like that you can't feel nearly as comfortable anymore in the pool, even
No.
if you swim away from it or whatever. It's
just
just
in
like
a-
it's there.
You're in a pool of blood.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, disease. You little shit. Get out of here. You weren't invited to the pool party. Where they're like, I don't know. Just relate everything to TV. Is it just like, oh, the girls, oh, the guys, oh, we're hanging out in separate parts of the pool, but we're making eyes at each other. But we don't want to. And you're having those like conversations, like, I think she likes you. I'm gonna write a teen drama.
I
think I got
mean,
my thumb on the pulse.
I don't know that it was so much like, oh, we're on opposite ends of the pool. I think that there were definitely times where like the guys were in the pool and the girls were out on the tanning on the chairs. And I mean, there was, when we were all in the pool, I think that I was probably more like, oh, if I'm closer to the girls, then they'll like me. And so I was usually not on opposite ends. I was usually closer to them, trying to chit chat, not going
No.
not getting the results that
Yeah.
teenage me was hoping for.
As we
But
generally said before, I think we both had that, like, in terms of trying to have a girl be interested in you, like, number one thing, proximity. General proximity. You don't have to do anything else.
Convenience
If
factor.
I'm just, yeah. If I'm just around.
Other guys have the X factor. I have the convenience factor.
Yeah, it's right. The Z
You don't
factor.
have to go anywhere.
I'm right here, and I'm not doing anything if you'd like to talk.
I'm bringing nothing to the table other than my location.
Quietly waiting and waiting. Waiting and waiting.
I am talking a little bit louder so that you have to eventually turn and look at me.
Yeah.
And then you'll be hooked. And then in the when there would be times where we would be in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Go boys and girls in the hot tub together.
Ay, ay, ay.
Trying to make something happen.
Get a stew going.
Yeah. And the stew was always sent back to the kitchen. No compliments to the chef.
Always a little meatier than you expected.
Yeah.
I got one more thing I was gonna say.
Okay, I have one too. It's not super relevant, but I want you to go first.
Perfect.
Because you had already started.
That
and I interrupted.
No, all right. This was an awkward thing for me. Was as a kid, everybody was like, it was a big deal to open your eyes underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Was that for you as well?
Kind of. It was a big deal, like, I guess, to be able to do it.
Right.
I was not a fan of doing it, but I liked having goggles on so that I could open my eyes underwater.
I'm shocked you and I are coming from the same position.
That's so unlike us.
But like, I always had it in my mind because everyone I knew could do it. And I was like, I could tell just like barely opening my eyes. I'm like, I don't like this feeling. I don't care for it. And like once or twice I would do it. But it was like I would just see water bubbling past my eyes. My eyes are tearing up as I'm talking about this because I don't like it. I hated it. And so I never did, but I would try every now and then, and everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, it would never be worded, I can open my eyes underwater. It's, I can see underwater. Yeah, no problem. I can see underwater. Oh, let's play a game where you have to see underwater." And I'm like, I fucking can't. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I always had the impression that it was possible to just like see underwater the same way I do if I'm wearing goggles. And now as I'm older and less like reactive like that, where it's like I can do it if I wanted to. I can go down to the pool and open my eyes. I realized you can't see shit. Everyone is just seeing. That's all they were talking about, is they see it's just blurry water shit and you see shapes going past you.
Yeah.
Like, why is everyone making such a big fucking deal about this, you jerks? Get off my ass and let me wear my goggles because it's way cooler.
Yeah, I don't know if it's way cooler, but it's way more comfortable.
It's not as cool as my onion goggles, but what is?
Right.
I love goggles.
Did you ever accidentally bring your onion goggles to the pool and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, everybody, I brought the wrong goggles"?
Guess we're getting a stew going.
I want to talk more about swim trunks.
Please do. Let's get back.
Let's get back.
Nuzzle back into that netting.
When we were in San Diego, I had not packed a swimsuit for this trip, but we were not only was there a hot tub in the hotel that we wanted to dip into, but we were also going to go kayaking, and I was like, I feel like I should have a bathing suit if we go kayaking.
Doesn't hurt.
So we went to Target, we bought a swimsuit, and I was like, I guess I'm just buying it for this trip. Like, it doesn't have to be a good one. Because I felt like the legs were too short, that it came up too high. Which is something that I would have been self-conscious about. You don't need to see all of my hairy legs.
No. All my gray pubes.
But I tried it on and I was like, I don't know. I don't like this, but it's just for this trip.
Yeah.
And then my girlfriend was like, no, I like that there is more leg shown. And
Right.
I was like, what?
What? No,
And
I
now
know this.
I love to wear that bathing suit.
It's weird, and I put a part of this to fashion changing constantly
Yeah.
because, and I think a lot of people, unless you're like really into fashion, I think a lot of people are like, the same with like music. Because like when you're a teenager, whatever the fashion is at the time, whatever that trend is, you can easily kind of get stuck in it, which
Yeah.
I, for the most part, still kind of am. But shorts is one of those places where it's like it used to be the rule was shorts were supposed to go past your kneecaps, and that
Yes.
is not the case anymore. But again, it now probably is. We're probably just old now because I know baggy clothes are more in again. But like
Right.
it changed, and now all of my shorts come up. I don't know, half a foot above my kneecaps, which feels
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me. I
Yeah.
but you get used to it eventually. But for the first, I don't know, year or so, I'm wearing these swim trunks and shorts and shit. It just, I feel naked on that
Yeah.
little like half a foot of skin. I'm just
Yeah.
like, is this
I agree.
okay? Is everyone staring
Right.
at me?
Yeah. We definitely grew up at a time where it was like you better have long shorts on
Yeah.
or it means something about
Oh
you. Oh
no!
no. But now to be older and to have, it seems like the consensus, at least around um uh women our age, is
Yeah.
like, no, we want to see those friggin' legs.
Yes.
And that's like, I still am having a bit of, I'm still in the adjustment period of being like, no, it's okay if they come up above the knee.
Yeah.
People like it.
People saying that to yourself in the mirror.
Yeah,
People like my lower thighs.
people like my lower thighs.
You're a part of the adjustment bureau. That's right.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Just going around adjusting.
Yeah, just going around adjusting.
That's an adaptation of my favorite author's one of his short stories. Never read it, never saw the movie. I have no fucking idea what it's about.
Oh, I've seen the movie.
I heard the movie was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'd check it out.
Um,
Probably not, but maybe.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like you will. Um, is it time to talk about what we've learned?
I guess we learned about netting.
Learned a lot about
We
netting.
learned
We
when I
learned
saw my
about
first old man balls.
yeah. This is
And
definitely an episode that'll be cataloged for that purpose.
yes, update the wiki. I don't know if there's much else to learn about pools.
Right.
We need to just get more comfortable showing some leg.
Yes.
People like it. I Here's the other thing though. Not to make this episode go longer because I think our past few have been long, but I was invited to go swimming with my girlfriend's family, and I didn't want to, and part of it was like I don't want to take my shirt off, or I'm not at that point yet.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable taking my shirt off in front of these people, and they're very nice people. I don't mean to say these people, they're great, but I don't know, I felt weird about it, and that wasn't the only reason I wasn't going, but that was going through my head a lot. Like, I don't know, I still have some
Yeah.
hangups about my body.
Yeah, you and me both. I also felt weird about it on the lake because it was my girlfriend and I, her sister and her boyfriend, and then two other couples
Oh
that my
boy.
girlfriend is friends with.
Yeah.
And so I was not super stoked to take off that shirt because is anybody gonna care? No. But do I feel like people are gonna be judging and her
Yeah.
friends are gonna be like, All right, let's see what my friend's boyfriend looks like. Is it up to par?
Yeah.
Um,
Take a picture of you,
and
upload it to Hot or Not.
yeah,
That
no
website
thanks.
suddenly becomes like super popular again because the picture of you is so horrifying.
Is so not hot. Yeah. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are like, oh, thank you. A different target. Yeah, I hopped into the lake, got back in the boat, and then I put a little towel around me to be a little more modest.
What's your metaverse beach bod gonna look like? Are you excited to have that opportunity?
I'm excited about all things metaverse. I can't wait to buy NFTs on there. I
Mhm.
can't wait to interact with anonymous strangers across the internet, because everything that we've learned so far in life has been that that sort of interaction is what we need more of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the history of the internet's told us that every new big technological feat on the internet will just turn into chat roulette.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it'll always be here to it'll always be here to stay
yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
Um,
That's a lot of learning.
yeah. Speaking of things that are here to stay, this
Mm,
podcast, except certain
that's
episodes on
right.
Spotify,
Ugh,
you can
yeah.
check out most of these episodes on
Mm.
Spotify. You can check
But
out
why
all of
would
these
you?
episodes on Apple Podcasts, Amazon
Ooh,
Music.
these platforms
Uh,
sound better.
you can go to our website, howdowehuman.com. That's hosted by our dear Lord and
Oh,
Savior
yes.
Daddy
It
Podbean.
would never do us wrong.
For those of you wondering what we're talking about, Spotify has decided to take off certain episodes in which we featured music. So
Musical.
you'll have to search for other platforms if you ever want to re-listen to our Christmas songs brackets or our crazy songs
Ah, the
brackets,
classics.
the classics. But you can also find certain episodes on our YouTube channel, How Do
All
We
right.
Human. Um, New episodes get uploaded there, and some of the early episodes are on there.
Some of them certainly are.
Certainly
I think
are
1 through 15 or so.
something like
I
that.
haven't
Yeah.
updated them in months. It's a lot of work. They're big.
it yeah, they're big.
Gotta make a new thumbnail for
Um,
each of them. It's too much.
you can also check us out on a variety of social
Ooh,
media.
good idea.
Uh, you can check us out on Instagram at How Do We
We
Human.
got that handle.
Follow us on Twitter at How Do We Human Pod.
We tweet those tweets.
Facebook at How Do We Human.
I don't think you're ready for that handle.
Or you can send us an email to howdowehumanpod@gmail.com.
The best part of that handle is that it's an address. I didn't think I was gonna make it. We got there.
So, yeah, we did get there.
Address.
Experienced some turbulence,
Ooh,
but we landed
I
safely.
am lightheaded.
Evan,
Yeah.
do you have anything else you'd like to plug?
Just again, this is another like not really a plug as much of a call to action.
Oh, great. Okay, great.
You'd brought up the Shallows, shallow la 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 la
Yes.
low.
Sha-la-la-la-lo.
The end of the pool I like. I was like, while I was swimming and I was looking at that deep
Yeah.
end, that song came into my mind. And I
Yeah.
was like, hey, if I had the energy to, and I could do it, I would make a funny little video that was Lady Gaga at the pool. And she
Tell
goes,
me something, pool.
I'm on the deep end, watches are diving, and the lifeguard going, no diving. That's a perfect little vine.
Yeah.
So go make a vine for me. It'll make me laugh, and I'll like you more. Now that's I guess a TikTok now. Make a
Yeah.
TikTok,
Get
make
with
a
the times.
reel. I'd do it, but Chris.
Should we get a shared TikTok, Evan?
We would never use it. I've thought about it. We should.
We should. We've got enough short sketch ideas like that we could do, but
Yeah, it would
too
probably
hard.
be good. It's tough knowing, but it's safer knowing that, like, if we did try it, we'd be hugely successful.
Yep.
And that's way safer than actually trying it.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yes, Evan.
what you got going on?
I am doing it's kind of like a meet and greet. It's gonna be about 45-ish minutes north of Los Angeles.
Okay.
But I'm combining it with those eating challenges that certain restaurants have, where if you can eat a certain amount in a certain amount of time, you can get put up on the Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm doing that at a sushi restaurant up in the valley. So if you want to come by, see me, see how I fare in the challenge, see me eat sashimi in Simi Valley.
Beautiful.
Thanks. Wasn't sure I was gonna get all the syllables out, but I did.
See me, sashimi, and see me. Simi.
Yeah.
See me? Simi?
I've always heard it pronounced Simi.
Yeah, I think I have too. All right.
But not that we need to get into this. There are definitely words in Los Angeles that you hear pronounced a certain way, and
True.
you're like, I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
I had that conversation recently. Like, what is the grossest, like, an actual food that's like, oh, I'm going to do an eating competition? That might be up there just because it's delicious, but it is raw. And once you hit that point where it's like, I'm stuffed, I feel like that would go awry. When you're completely stuffed and it's like, here's raw meat.
Yeah. Wash it down with one of our famous How Do We Human meaty stews.
Nom, nom, nom. Get those bubbles going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No stewing.
No stewing.
I interrupted an okay.
Bye.
Bye. That was clean.